Hi, my name is Alexandra O'Hanion, and this assignment will be analysing a new management technique that can be implemented by management at premium department store David Jones. To begin with, I'll talk a bit about what David Jones is. Until they were bought out by the South African company Woolworths Holding in 2014, David Jones has been proudly Australian owned for almost a consecutive 180 years of business. The company sold for $2.1 billion when it was bought out and had 47 operating stores at the time. As a department store, they offer a broad range of services and goods in areas of fashion, beauty, food, technology, and homewares. Their high-class reputation is supported through their staff management, with a significant emphasis placed on assisting and building relationships with their customers to promote loyalty. In a modern post-COVID landscape, the company faces a continuous struggle to attract customers as interest rates continue to rise, preventing the public from spending big. However, it is important to note that the return of overseas travellers appears to have brought more business to the iconic Australian store. After considering the options from Ryan's, Kober, and Brown's research, the practice I am suggesting that David Jones implements into their organisation is leadership training for employees in roles of management. Leadership is a popular training tool implemented by organisations internationally and can take form in many different styles. These styles can include, but are not limited to, lectures or online modules, and can focus on different elements of leadership such as qualitative and quantitative factors. The diversity and flexibility of this management style makes it relevant and easily adaptable for a broad range of organizations around the world. Additionally, this technique is often absorbed and developed by teams, as research has shown that having effective leaders will motivate employees to be more productive in doing their job. This will therefore ultimately benefit the business as a whole. So why should you, as senior leaders of David Jones, implement leadership training throughout your teams? There is no doubt that over the years, David Jones has struggled to keep up with the fast fashion trends and the cheap prices of competitors. According to the annual financial statements listed on the Woolworths Holding website, profit margins had dropped by more than 2% between 2016 and 2019. Even now, stores are still closing down all across Australia in order to cut costs. So, the question is, what can leadership management do to fix this? Effective leadership within an organisation has been recognised by researchers as important for building up a successful business. More specifically, as mentioned earlier, it can increase the productivity of not only the managers or leaders completing the training, but also has a flow-on effect. This means that other employees will be following a leader who is more approachable, increasing belonging and motivation, and will follow a leader more effective in delegating, making operations more streamlined. As a retail company, one of the main stakeholders in these decisions are the frontline workers, including sales assistants and those working directly with the customers, as ultimately they are the ones spending the money in store and have the ability to share experiences with others who could be new potential customers. Therefore, ensuring the frontline workers are under effective management is an opportunity for improvement that should definitely be addressed. These positive effects just listed will have a direct impact on the financial takings of David Jones, as it will save time and cut the operating costs. My recommendation for David Jones is that they implement some kind of leadership training for all of their managers and leaders who are working directly with the frontline employees of the business. As mentioned earlier, when discussing what leadership management is, it was noted that there were many ways in which an organisation can implement the training and make it accessible for employees. In order to keep the training as unobtrusive as possible, I have two recommendations for the organisation. Firstly, David Jones should provide their leaders with online learning modules, which can help to educate and broaden their knowledge on the best ways they can work with and motivate the employees under them, in order to ensure they reach their peak productivity. This should be the bulk of their training and can be done in offices or remotely from home if necessary. Secondly, in order to reiterate the information, I believe that higher management, such as store owners, should have a casual conversation with the leaders in training to brainstorm ideas on how they can improve or just to ensure they understood their training. This can be done in an informal group meeting or one-on-one. I think it's important to note here that this type of training will cost the organization time in the short term to get all of the managers trained, but the impact of more effective leaders over the long term will have the opposite effect, as it creates more of an efficient operations on the front line. I believe during this training, both quantitative and qualitative improvements should be suggested for further development. A focus on quantitative training will help the David Jones leaders in moving stock and making sales, ultimately improving the gross profit. Additionally, qualitative training will improve the leader's relationship with employees and consequently heighten their overall work experience, as well as increase their motivation to be productive on the shop floor. Overall, this presentation has shown how implementing training will help David Jones leaders motivate their employees as well as help improve the profit margins through sales.